Well, ladies and gentlemen, we're back for more. Second to none. Exteriors does a great job, and we just had to give them more time because we got so much more to share. So we tried to get as much as we could cover in that first half hour. If you watch the first half hour interview, our guest here, Mike, did a great job sharing some secrets of the trade, some hurdles he's overcome personally, and the way he's learned to run a business that's now has become very successful for 7 years and 23 years in the industry. But there's a lot more to it. So we've got another half hour of information to share with you guys here. And with that, I'm going to jump right in. We've already got everything set up here on the walls. We've got the TVs and we've got the cameras. Let's dig in here a little bit. But this is one of my favorite questions to ask. And how often is this something that people don't realize? And they're afraid unless somebody tells them what to ask. How do you know what to ask? But tell me, Mike, what is a mistake that the average consumer makes when they're about to have a $15,000, $20,000, $30,000, $50,000 roof put on their house? What's a big mistake they make?
Well, obviously, the first mistake would be the contractor that they choose
Okay.
to have the work done.
Yeah.
So vetting the right company, doing your due diligence, and researching the companies that you're using. But then also here in the Midwest, especially, we definitely do a lot of insurance work. So I feel like the homeowners not understanding the insurance process fully is something that can, cause problems as well.
Well, tell me about that, because the insurance does become very complicated. And a lot of people, I get wary. I mean, we deal with car insurance all the time, right? And I got this little ding, or I bumped into somebody, and do I have to claim this? Do I want to get the police involved? How far do I want? Because once it's on record, then it's on record. And is that what a lot of people get hesitant of? Because if I call in an insurance company, they're going to ding me whether this happens as a claim or not. What's the process that most people should follow? Should they call the expert insurance agent or insurance company first before they call their insurance agent?
No, I would say definitely find a contractor first to come take a look at the roof, whether it's the roof, siding, gutters, anything on the exterior. But I would definitely call a contractor first and have them come out and do a full inspection. That way, whenever you get the information from the contractor that you do have damage, then when you call your insurance and you tell them you have damage, you can also second that with, I had a contractor out already. They already said that there is damage as well. So instead of just you as the homeowner calling the insurance and saying, hey, I think I might have damage up there, send somebody out. So it's a lot better of a way to go through that process.
Well, often the people try to wing it on their own. They're like, I'll call the insurance company myself. And probably not the smartest thing to do, because they're not the expert. They're not even sure what happened. They might not have even gone up on the roof. They just heard some of their neighbors have had a problem, right? And so then they're going to go and call it in. They're going to deal with, it's like dealing with the, who represents themselves in court, right?
Yeah.
You need to have a professional, right? You bring a lawyer in for that. You get the roofing expert. Why is this so important?
Yeah, I mean, you want to have somebody that's got your back in the situation. We've had situations, many, where the homeowner has already filed the claim, which they can do that, and they've already had the adjuster come out and gotten a denial, and then they call a contractor and they're like, hey, all of my neighbors are getting new roofs. I had my insurance come out and they denied me. And then the first thing we ask them, did you have a contractor there? And they'll say no. And then 99% of the time we go there, we file for a reinspection, and everything gets bought. Because if you don't help, unfortunately in the insurance industry, sometimes you got to hold them accountable. If nobody's there to hold them accountable, there's better chances anyways that it could be denied, because nobody's there on the homeowner's behalf to hold the insurance accountable.
Yeah, the insurance company isn't like, hey guys, how much money can we give away today, right?
Yeah.
That's not what they're in business to do. They're going to say, I'll tell you a personal experience. We had a hailstorm, or a tornado came through here. I ended up with somebody's chimney stack in my front yard. It was a bit of a storm. And anyway, go through the whole process, got the insurance company come through. Guy says, oh, well, I've got the columns on the front of my house, if you see a picture of my house, and we're going to cover this column, but the other ones, so this is what we got. And we're going to cover the two sides of your house where the storm came in. And I was like, okay. And I talked to somebody later, he says, no, I should have replaced all four sides, because even though I have white siding, so it doesn't become discolored over time, it still becomes powdery, chalky finish on it. That is not as new, is not the same as the new stuff you're gonna have on there. So they should have done all four sides. I'm like, wow, that was a $7,000 difference that I didn't realize. And I thought, well, they're covering half of it. That's better than nothing. And I look around now and I still see little dings, and it's like those things that how often do people not realize, and something as subtle as oh, it's all white siding. Why do we have to worry about covering that? This stuff wasn't damaged. This was. The sun doesn't make a difference. And because I didn't realize, because of the aging of it, the chalkiness that comes off of it as it deteriorates, these are things people don't realize.
Yeah, yeah, and unfortunately, there is no standard across the insurance world for a lot of things. So it even makes it harder for the contractor to, when it comes to even doing simple inspections for hail or wind damage. We can tell the homeowner what we think is going to happen, but it's never 100%. I've had roofs get bought that shouldn't have, and I've had roofs get denied that shouldn't have. So it kind of makes it harder for us because there's no standard across the different insurance companies. But there's also so many different other things within, the code requirements for the state, code requirements for different municipalities. So there's a lot of different things that play a factor into whether or not you get the whole thing bought versus just a couple planes. Depends on which county you live in, different ordinances that have been passed and when they've been passed. So that's why it's really important to have a contractor that can work on your behalf directly with the insurance from the very beginning to help fully indemnify and get your roof back to pre-loss condition.
Important stuff as a matter of understanding, because you're not talking about $10 or $1,500 repairs. These are $20,000, $30,000 repairs. And I got the bill on mine. I'm like, man, now what I got to do for the rest of my, unless another storm comes through. How often do people say, oh, I don't want to make the claim here because I'm not sure. And it's like, no, you probably should, because if you don't, the next time the storm comes through, they're going to say, no, this damage wasn't from this storm. That was from a previous storm, and you're not covered now. How does that work, and why should people make sure that they bring an expert like yourself to make sure that's covered the right way?
Yeah, and that's another kind of tricky conversation to even have, because I've seen where people have had old damage that's essentially gotten approved because a newer storm came in, and so it's unfair that there's a lot of different things that happen that makes it a little harder to say definitively, like, you should do this or this will happen. But yes, for the most part, you definitely want to have the damage fixed as soon as it happens, so that way you can get back to pre-loss condition and be insured for the new things that have been installed on your home.
Okay, yeah, because a lot goes into these houses when you've got damage. What happened to when and how, and now it's not covered because. And just back to the original point, ladies and gentlemen, bring in an expert. Get a guy like Mike here because he knows what he's talking about, and with 23 years of experience, started when he was 14 years old or a young age. But people think I'm joking, but you were a little older than that, but you were in high school.
Yeah, I was 15.
15. Okay, so started young and said, "Hey, man, I'm going to learn this industry.
Yeah.
Skip out a little bit of the college. I'm still paying for the college stuff, guys. Is that what we deal with? But hey." Guy who took the leap and went and made it happen. But you're saying vet the company, make sure that they understand what they're doing, and get somebody who is certified. Got great reviews like Mike does here. 4.9, by the way. We'll show that for everybody again. How has technology changed the industry? What is it that is affected, especially with the way, I guess, the process is handled? Because it used to be everything was written on paper. They would mail you. They would call you. Maybe the fax machine at some point. But now everything's done online. I went through a whole claim with my mom. We have a property out in the middle of Missouri. When the pipes froze last year, the coldest freezing we've had in 43 years or something. And then the whole process. And you got to log into the website. And you got to make sure. But how has that changed? And what is the same? What does it really make a difference of how this is all handled?
So, I mean, obviously, it makes things a lot easier in the process side of things. Me personally, I'm actually more old school. So I still find myself using pen and paper for things when a lot of people would probably be all digital. But overall, it's helped out a lot in the industry when it comes to hail reports, the CRM, and being able to manage all of your customers, communication with all of the crews, being able to send out all the orders and everything all from one central place. Being able to, obviously, the branding, digital marketing side of things is obviously a huge part of our newer technologies that we have. So overall, it's helped a lot, with streamlining and processes.
Yeah, is it easier to keep track of what's going on? So when there's a problem, you say, oh, digitally I found that. Okay, pull up the old images, show what we've got prove the damage was there. Hail reports, I guess, a lot of times people rely on a little bit to show where the storm actually did hit and what should be, are they possibly have a claim here? And all that stuff gets investigated now. Where in the old days, the old school, I think my brother-in-law told me the storm came through
word
here.
of mouth.
But nowadays, the technology kind of helps document it. But you still want to be old school to make sure it gets done and the follow-through and all that. Tell me why that's important.
Yeah. So essentially, the CRM is the customer relationships management system is what most contractors use, and it's great to be able to centralize everything. So when you get to a homeowner's house day one for the inspection, you're gonna take all of the pictures. You're gonna upload everything to the CRM, all the personal information, all the insurance company's information if they have that already, and then that way, if there's anything going forward, whether it be proving to the insurance damage that was overlooked by the adjuster, whether it be communicating with the crews, communicating with the salesman, or communicating with the homeowner, it can all be done out of the CRM. So it does make things a lot easier on that end of things for sure.
Very important, and as a matter of when you're focusing on getting a job right, you want to stay organized. That's what our technology helps us to do these days, everybody. So how many of us have one of these little things called a smartphone, right? And so do you run your business from the smartphone? These days, there's a lot that you have to keep up with there. Well, that's exciting. Tell me a time, though, when you really felt like you helped a client. There's a particular situation where things were not going well for them, but you had to kind of go out of your way to make a difference.
Yeah, it seems like there's been a few of those. We seem to get calls when customers have already hired somebody and the process or the customer service didn't go very well, and then they're kind of left in limbo, and then they're reaching out trying to find somebody that can come in that they can trust. I've dealt with a lot of customers where the trust has been the biggest issue because they've been burnt in the past, whether it be financially or with the actual product that's been installed, and dealing with problems later, and then not being able to get a hold of the contractor and get the things fixed. One in particular, there was a 60 by 40 steel building that was being built in Wentzville, Missouri, and they had a crew come out. They did good with the structural side of things, the girts and the steel structure, but then when it came to actually doing the roofing and the siding, they really boogered it up and kind of did a half-effort job on it, and then left. And 8 months went by. The homeowner couldn't get a hold of the contractor. Stuff got damaged from wind, and it kind of got just left to get destroyed by weathering because it was only partially done. Called us. I told him, yeah, we can come in and take a look at it. Coming into something like that, it's kind of hard. It's harder to give an estimate when it's not your job. It's like partially done. So you kind of have to just come in and give them more of a time and material estimate and just figure it out from there. That's what I did. I just came in, told them, yeah, we can take care of it. We got up there, fixed everything that was damaged, and then completed everything else. And the homeowner was just so happy with the communication, doing what I said I would do from the beginning, and everything happening as I said it would. Built that trust with him, and then from there, he was so happy with the finished product that I've done multiple jobs for him. After that, he was like, well, hey, can you build this? Can you build this? And some of the stuff I hadn't even done before, but he was like so sure about not using anybody else because of the lack of trust for one, that he's like, I'm sure you can learn it. And so I'm like, all right, well, send me the specifications and I'll learn it. And that's what we did. We did some free floating overhang awnings off of the steel building that I had never done before. And I built some mezzanine second floor inside of it and everything. But it was just one of those things where he just trusted me so much that he wanted me to do all the rest of the work. So, and I did.
There you go, ladies and gentlemen. Take note. That's why we put the hat on. When you're really making a difference and you're helping people, good things go your way. So do things right the first time, help people, and things will go your way, and you'll be able to have a successful business too. So that's what we did. That's why we put the cowboy hat on too, because there's so much in the community that gets done, and Mike's doing a great job with that. So that's what we want to emphasize. Mike, tell me, what's the process? You've impressed a lot of people with this interview and the last show you did too. I'm sure there's a lot of people who are going to call on you. What's the process for getting started to hire you?
So first thing is just reach out. Give us a call, whether it be through the website. There's ways to connect through the website, or give us a call on the phone number, 636-699-0449. and then we'll set up an appointment to come by and do an inspection, whether it is you have a leak going on or you think you may have damage from recent storms. We'll come out, we'll do a full inspection, and then from there we'll tell you everything. We'll sit down with you and we'll give you a damage report on everything that we found. From there we can help you by calling in the claim if that's what you need, setting up the appointment with the adjuster, coming back after that with the adjuster for the adjustment, and kind of being your eyes and ears on the roof, and holding the adjuster accountable to everything. From there, once it's approved, if it's approved, then we would actually work on your behalf through supplementation to maximize the claim, because unfortunately there's a lot of times where the insurance company doesn't cover things, or things are overlooked, or even purposefully numbers are skewed on the estimate. So having a company that can supplement and make sure everything's maximized and the homeowner's getting everything that they should replaced on the roof or any other of the exteriors is really beneficial. From there, we would have another consultation with the homeowner and sit down, pick products, whether it be the roofing, siding, gutters, whatever's being replaced. One thing that we take pride in is that we have. I'm personally a master craftsman for Certainty certified, and a few of my guys are as well. But the company is a Shingle Master certified company through Certainty as well, so we can offer a 50-year warranty for our roofing systems. And then also we are Owens Corning preferred contractor, which enables us to offer some really good warranties on with that product as well. So yeah, and then from there we would schedule in the work. Do the work in a timely manner, stay communicative the whole entire time, make sure we're doing everything as we say we're going to do it. And then from there, once the project's done, we make sure that you're happy with it. We ask you to leave a good review if you had a good time, and then from there we move on to the next homeowner, and that's kind of the mission, is just one homeowner at a time.
And we're going to show a little bit of the work that Mike has done here with his crew, because he's got some good examples on his website and lots of great information. But look at the quality that Mike and his crew does. He's got his all-American crew that will help make sure that your house gets upgraded completely. And when we talk about it, it's not just the roof. Exteriors, which is the name of the company, second to none exteriors, it's the exterior of the house. You got the siding, soffit, fascia, gutters, and the roof. Anything else in between, too. I mean, sometimes I guess you deal with wallboard, maybe run into some plumbing, but certainly some insulation. All those kinds of things work together. And how often the vent system, how important is a vent system in a roof? A lot of people don't even realize there's a vent system in my roof. Yes, there is, right? You're supposed to be.
Yes. Right? Yeah, ventilation is actually a huge component to the roof. A lot of times homeowners don't realize that, the reason why their roof is falling apart, that it's aging quicker, is just because of lack of proper ventilation. Unfortunately, there's a lot of roofing companies, not companies, but crews doing installs that don't know the ventilation side of things. So they just come in, tear a roof off, put a new roof on, don't even think of any of that. And then in 10 years, the homeowner is asking why they've got blistering, or, things are not, are falling apart essentially on the roof so quick and aging. And then we would come in and say, yeah, you've got really poor ventilation, and it's essentially aging your roof at a rapid rate, because it's like an oven inside of your attic. So in the summertime, you've got the sun, and then you've got the attic that's baking from underneath, and it's just stressing out the shingles and the plywood. So not only does it age the shingles, it actually ages the plywood as well, which is detrimental to the lifetime of your roof.
Yeah, it can affect the whole house, and then all of a sudden you've got mold and all kinds of other things come about, and it can be a bad situation.
Yeah.
Okay. Tell me, what's a challenge you've had to overcome when you're running your business and there's nobody that goes through life without some kind of hurdle they had to go through? But in the many years you've had your business now, and you've been in the industry, tell me a time you had a challenge you overcame, or the time you helped a customer with a challenge. What would you say?
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, I think life is nothing but a bunch of challenges. I don't think they ever stop.
Series of challenges, right? No, I agree.
So, I mean, maybe some get a little easier, or in a different category. But I feel like my biggest challenge so far is just, transitioning from roof installer to business owner, shifting the identity, changing the mindset around working with my hands to essentially my mind, and being a leader and helping other people grow and letting them go out and do the work, and me being able to kind of essentially do more delegating and sit back and be the more visionary instead of out there in the field on the roof with my belt on swinging a hammer. That's probably been my hardest. And then just the learning aspect of business.
Sure, yeah. It's one thing to be somebody who's in the middle of the construction, who's out there actually doing the work, versus managing a crew, and then also then running the business and ordering the parts and getting all the stuff, supplies that are necessary for this, and then making sure that everything gets done. I mean, that's the ultimate for this, and so that's why we look for successful business owners, everybody who've done a great job, and that's why we asked Mike to come be on our show here. You've got an interesting favorite quote, and I always ask somebody, tell me something inspirational, something that means something to you, as a matter of what is it that kind of inspires you to understand and realize what's important and why you kind of do what you do. And there's so many people that have just they struggle to make it day to day. But is there any particular quote you've got that could help you to realize where you're at in life and what it is that makes things kind of work for you?
Well, it's not really a quote per se. It's more of a core value that I've developed.
Okay.
It's called American Pride.
Okay.
And it's above and beyond, make a difference, earn it, respect, integrity, communication, aspire, no excuses, and then pride simply just stands for personal responsibility in delivering excellence.
Okay, so that acronym for everybody there was called American Pride, and all of the key words that you've come off from that that are important for people to understand. And that's a cool one, man. I hadn't seen anything like that before, and it just seems like you put a little extra effort into that, a little bit of study, because there's more that goes into this than just waking up every day. But how do you sort those ideas and make it something you can remember, something you can stand for? But American Pride and all of it, the integrity, communication, responsibility, and everything else that goes into that. It's pretty neat to see somebody who's taking a little time to put a little bit extra together to make a little difference on what they stand for and what they believe.
Yeah, I know a lot of companies have core values, obviously, and most of the time they're really short and sweet, maybe 2, 3, 4 things. But I really wanted mine to tie in with the brand, with the American Pride, and that stems from my father being a retired Master Sergeant in the Marine Corps. So from a very young age, I've always been really patriotic, and it's just really close to my heart. And that's why I also take pride in being able to offer employment for retired veterans, for people that have been in the service industries, whether it be in the actual trade, working on the jobs, or even in sales. I've had quite a few people that have worked for me that have been either ex-military or ex-felons, to be honest with you, and being able to see them change their life has been very meaningful to me.
Well, that's cool, giving people a real opportunity to right themselves and find a new path. Not too many people can offer that. That's something you obviously take pride in, and it makes a difference. It shows through with what you do to make a successful business too. That's pretty cool. Tell me, what is a major objection somebody may have when they say, all right, Mike, I'm excited here, but I got a few questions. What are the questions, concerns people often have?
I mean, a lot of times, if it's in the insurance industry, they're concerned about filing a claim. They're concerned about if it gets denied or not, whether or not it's going to make their rates go up. So it's a misconception. And, I like to tell homeowners that everybody around you getting new roofs is what's going to make your rates go up, not you filing a claim. So it's actually better off that you jump in with everybody else right now.
Right.
You do. There are different, dings, like you said earlier, that come up on your record for filing, but it's not the same as actually making your rates go up for making a claim. So, best thing to do is, again, have a contractor make sure that they believe you at least have enough damage warranting to file a claim, and then, make that claim.
Make that claim. That's a lot of people get wary of that process, but what is it that gives you the most satisfaction when it boils down to it? And you wake up every day and you go, here's what I get to do that makes me happy about what I'm doing with my second to none exteriors business that I started.
I mean, overall, one, building out a legacy for my family is always there, for my children. but I love taking care of homeowners. I love putting on and seeing the finished products of construction work. And then also now that I've more transitioned into the business ownership side, I've found it really, really fulfilling training salesmen and having that leadership role and seeing other people grow in other areas as well. But just overall, I guess, the personal development side of being a business owner and watching everything grow with you.
Well, that's the reward we all get for making a difference and putting some work in it, and only a few of us make it successfully. I'm still working on it. Seems like you've done a good job to make that happen, so keep up the good work. How do you feel, though, you contribute to the community? What would you say you do most to help make this little planet a little bit better place?
So, on a day-to-day basis, every single job, just making sure that we're delivering excellence in everything that we do. I feel like also having, I do subcontract some of my work out as well. I'm not strictly the all-American in-house crew. It would be impossible to grow and scale as a business with just that. So I do have subcontracting crews for a lot of the other trades as well. It's just a part of what we're offered that I feel like allows me to stand out a little bit. And also I take pride in the fact that we can offer positions for singular people that want to get into the trade and still learn it, instead of you got to have a whole crew and your own LLC to be able to find a job in the roofing industry. So that side of it, but then also on the other side of it, being able to help homeowners in need. We've partnered up with the RSCA, which is the Roofing, Siding, Construction Alliance of St. Louis. It's essentially a group of some of the top in the industry and construction business owners that just want to have ethics and want to follow all the different requirements for the state and for the different construction industries and want to hold up a standard. So I've partnered with the RSCA and Backstoppers to do a few benefit roofs essentially for fallen firefighters and fallen police officers, and then also responders rescue as well. And then just recently, actually a few days ago, we installed a roof just through second to none for a homeowner that really needed a roof and couldn't afford it. So
very cool. All right, as we finish up, what do you do personally for fun? We've talked about this a little bit before.
So I mean, obviously, the Ninja Warrior has been a passion of mine, but it kind of leaked into other things, fitness-wise too. I like doing OCR races, which is obstacle course racing, kind of boot camps, mixed running with obstacle stuff, and also disc golf has been another big passion of mine for years, is playing disc golf as well. So, and what I like about that is disc golf and Ninja have been really similar. The community, the people are awesome. And then also I like to give back to those different, I sponsor OCR events, I sponsor Ninja events, I've sponsored disc golf events, and then also competed in them as well. So that way I could be a part of it and be able to sponsor it as well and help out. So
there you go, ladies and gentlemen. We finish up this segment. I'm going to share a little bit extra here, and we're going to put up on the wall because we're going to get a little overtime here. We can edit the show as necessary, but great work you do. I wanted to show with everybody, we've got a number of pictures that you did allow us to access. So we want to show everybody a little bit of those pictures because some of the work you're doing. But before we do that, on the wall behind us over here, we've got, this is your Ninja version of your Ninja video, right? So let's take a look at this and tell everybody what's going on here. The audio is not going through on this one, but this is on your YouTube, right?
If the audio doesn't come through.
Yeah, you go ahead and talk over it.
Okay, yeah, so this was 5 years ago. I had submitted the video to get on the show of American Ninja Warrior, and I put a bunch of stuff together. Had actually a fellow ninja at the time was a videographer and helped me kind of put everything together real smoothly. But essentially, it's my story about how I overcame the drug addiction, how I met my family, and got clean and kind of turned my life around. And then it goes from there, me meeting my wife and children. And then it shows me at the gym doing some stuff with my son Kal-El, and it's a bunch of clips of me just kind of doing my ninja stuff, whether it be in a gym at competitions that I've done or on the roof doing kind of ninja type things. So yeah, and the show just kind of, or this video, I'm just talking about how my kids came to me one time and said, "Thanks for coming into my lives and saving me." And I said, "It's really them who saved me." And you know, just shows pictures of us and things that I've done in the Ninja and on the roof.
Look at that. Great stuff. Well, with that, I also want to share with everybody, because this video is touching, man. It helps people understand what life is all really about, and shows you going out there and doing it, man. The actual ninja stuff. Boy, it looks a little dangerous. I'm a little crazy myself sometimes. I might try some of that. But
I'm about 30 pounds heavier than I was in that video too, so
okay, yeah.
I got some work to do to be able to get back to that level of athleticism.
Right. Well, it's good looking stuff you do and good work that you put together, and a little inspiration that we wanted you to share on your story, because there's so many people that they don't realize what they're capable of if they would just go out there and go after it, right? And somebody to cheer them on a little bit and give them a little bit of encouragement. And you did a great job with sharing that with a lot of people. Well, as we finish up here, we're going a little overtime, everybody. We do that periodically for certain guests, and Mike certainly deserves that. But here's some great examples of some of his work too. So take a look at this. Finishing off a roof there, that's a big roof, man. Lots of work went into that thing. And second to none exteriors, everybody. Some more examples here, as you can see many beautiful houses he's had the opportunity to work on, and some of the roofing that you've been able to put there. Talk about a little bit of these, and this guy in particular. Who is this on the screen that everybody can see here?
That's Daniel Gill. So he's I think 3-time champion on the show, American Ninja Warrior,
Okay.
the Kingdom Ninja. This was actually at a close friend of mine, Sam Folsom, which is another top-notch ninja in the sport, probably one of the best. And actually the whole family, the brothers, like they're all ninjas now. This was at their personal home in Illinois, and they have a big barn that was turned into, that he's been building into a ninja gym since he was like 12. I don't know the exact age, but now he's, I think, 19 or 20. Built this thing out, and it was elaborate, and one of the probably biggest home gyms. And he had decided to have a competition, and some of the biggest names came out and competed at this at home gym competition. So it was really cool to be able to meet with like Daniel and get pictures, and my son was there with it. Got to meet a lot of the people. So
very cool. Well, I'm gonna share a few more pictures that you uploaded for us here. We said, hey man, give us some more of that. Great looking. Is that your crew doing some work on?
It is.
That's a very high slant roof there, obviously, but a beautiful looking house, brick. Another angle for that same house there. Tell us about this one real quick.
Yeah, so this one actually is in Wentzville, Missouri. It had some hail damage, so we essentially got it bought by the insurance, and then not only did we get that, we got a lot of the accessories and things. The copper, as you can see in the one picture, the copper bay in the front, we had that redone as well. That's why it's nice and shiny. But yeah, it was 1212 main. It had a little bit of a steeper dormers on it. And that's kind of one of the things that we take pride in, is doing these bigger, more designer homes as well, because not everybody can get up there and do that, and we take pride in the fact that that we can. So homeowner was awesome to work with. There was definitely some back and forth that needed to happen with the insurance, because they didn't cover a lot of the things, but at the end of the day, we maximized the claim, got her everything that she deserved, and got everything replaced.
Awesome. This is a certification you've earned. Tell everybody what this means a little bit.
Yeah, so Certainty offers different certifications in the industry. You have to take different tests. The Master Craftsman actually is for me individually, and that's a test that you have to take in your knowledge of the specifications of install. And then there's a Master Craftsman, or not Master Craftsman, a Shingle Master that the company Second to None actually got certified in as well, and that's what allows us to offer the 50-year warranty through Certainty.
Very cool. There's your logo. Good looking work. Some of your crew out there getting there. There you are.
There's me. Yep, there's me.
Actually holding the gun, making sure that putting those roofing nails in there to make sure this work gets done. And some other community stuff you get to do. Is this part of the ninja stuff?
Yep, this was an OCR race. So there's like the guy in the green hair. That's Jamie Ron, Captain NBC. He's been on the show for almost every year, I believe. So awesome guy. He lives here in St. Louis as well.
Oh, wow.
But all these people. This was in Hazelwood. So Again, love doing it. There's Sam to the left in the blue hoodie that had the house out there in Illinois that had the competition. Just great people, great community. That's one of the reasons why I love the sport so much.
Well, it's neat to see people come together for such a great cause and get to work on some exciting stuff. Boy, this ninja stuff, it's intensive, and but we got a crew that puts it together and focuses and does what's right. You can see you guys really stick together and do a lot of good stuff in the community. So we're proud of you guys for making a little impact on our little planet here and all of what you've overcome and what you've done, and to make a little difference on our planet. So again, shout out to you and your crew because there's so many people out there that they struggle to make it work and they give up too easy. And if they'd have just stuck with it, they would have made it. And you never lose until you actually quit, right?
Yeah.
And you're just a great example. So, ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Mike Eckler, second to none exteriors, right here on the Your Little Castle Show. Giddy up.